Hello, this is Manesh Patel with the EII Capital Group. Today is September 19th, 2010. This is the weekly Ichimoku analysis for the U.S. stock market, where we cover the futures for SP 500, NASDAQ, and the Dow. Okay. This is no normal procedures. This is for educational purpose only. All charts are either in Thinkorswim or TradeStation, and the music that you hear in the background is from Guitaro. Here are my contact details. You can follow us on Twitter at Ichimoku Trading. Also, you could access our discussion boards, free discussion boards, wikis, and so forth from eiicapital.com. Okay. So let's begin and let's go look at our percentage-based chart. Now, I've changed a percentage-based chart to pretty much just start at the beginning of the year due to some requests. So you could see exactly as far as January 1st, 2010, where do we sit as far as these indexes are concerned, okay? Well, the futures, sorry. If you look at the futures, you could see that basically right now the Nasdaq is a little higher as far as from the very beginning of the year. We're up 4.2%. The Dow futures are about 3.5%, and the ES futures are basically about 2%, okay? If you notice last week, basically the Nasdaq made a big jump as far as moving up. It basically made a nice little move up where it basically is giving you moved up higher than the Dow futures. Okay. Last week's video, if you look at it, remember we said if you're going to go bullish, either choose a Dow or a Nasdaq stock, and if you're going to go bearish, take a SP 500 stock. Reason why is S&P is still pretty weak as far as everything is concerned. Okay. Let's go and look at the Ichimoku heat map. And you can see from the heat map, remember the heat map, what we're looking for is 5 to 8 being, and 8 being the most bullish, and -5 to -8, where -8 being most bearish. Okay. You could see from the daily time frame here that basically the daily is now bullish as far as the ES is concerned. The weekly is getting weak. It's still bearish because it's below zero, but it's getting very weak and it looks like it's about to turn over. Dow futures are basically positive. You could tell the daily is extreme bullish too. The weekly is about to get bullish, and you could see the Nasdaq has pretty much taken over where both time frames and now are bullish, even the weekly time frame. So basically, from according to this, if you're going to go bullish, pick a Nasdaq stock, and then if you're going to go bearish, pick a SP 500 stock. Okay. So let's go look at the charts and confirm everything on the heat map. Here's the weekly chart for the ES futures. Remember this line we draw here? We basically poked our little head out there, but we closed below that. Okay, so we really haven't done anything at all as of yet. We really need to break this line right here in order for us to say, okay, this thing now, it looks like it's going to have the possibility going bullish. That's the 1140 level, okay? But the minor level that we had drawn was about 1129, 1130, and we still haven't completely closed above that level at all in order for us to even go bullish. So we're pretty much just consolidating, going sideways right now with no momentum at all in one direction or another, or no trend as far as the weekly time frame is concerned. Okay, let's go look at the daily time frame. The daily time frame, you can see we got to this level here, poked it above it a little, and then we pretty much just bounced down it. The daily time frame you could see is now bullish. The only thing that's a little weak right now is the Cajun Sin is in this cloud. However, a 10-point movement up is going to basically get this thing out of here. So you may get a little pullback, or it may just keep on going. If it gets to this level here at 1140, definitely the Cajun Sin will come out. So the daily is basically now it's got a green light as far as Ichimoku is concerned to go into bullish trends on a daily. That means on a lower time frame, you could look at trend opportunities to go up long side. Okay, remember this is still weak compared to the other currency, the other indexes, and let's go look at those. Okay, so next what we're going to go look at is, let's go look at the Nasdaq. Okay, let's go look at the E-mini Nasdaq futures. Let's go look at the weekly, and if you look at the weekly, it's now above this level here of the cloud here, which is good. It's closed above it, and it looks like it wants to go retest this high right about here, which is about 2049. Okay, Chicago it's weak as far as the Nasdaq is concerned. So you really looks like it's going to may sit there and just consolidate a little unless it gets a big push movement up to get there, and then it just consolidates at that point. So for the Nasdaq, this thing may start ranging between this low level here at 1810 to 2049 if it gets there very, very fast. Okay, we gotta wait and see what happens. Let's go look at the daily time frame. Daily time frame, you could see this is a nice movement up last week. Got a little doji here, so be cautious because people that use Japanese candlesticks are probably going to look at shorting opportunities as far as Nasdaq is concerned. But this is trending very, very nicely after it broke this 1898 level. It looks like it's going long. Okay, let's go look at the Dow Futures. As you can see from the Dow Futures, it hasn't made a nice movement up like the Nasdaq. Okay, let's go look at the weekly. Weekly, if you notice that, Chicago is just like the Nasdaq. It's a little weak here, and if you notice here, it hasn't broken above this level here. So the Nasdaq is still very strong compared to the Dow Futures and everything that's concerned there. The only thing that's cautious on the Dow and the Nasdaq Futures is Chicago, the momentum indicator, which pretty much starts the trends. That's not for you on those two. On the ES, it actually is. So it's getting interesting now in that, the ES seems like it may get a big pop depending on the Chicago. But I really would be very cautious taking any S&P 500 signals going long. I still probably would stick with the Nasdaq or the Dow, more towards Nasdaq now. Okay, and let's go look at the daily. Okay, daily looks like it's about to pop up. Basically, both time frames. This time frame looks like it could sit there and break up above this last high here. So it looks like it could sit there and go retest, move higher there. And if it breaks that level, it looks like it could get all the way up to here. Okay, so let's summarize everything because we kind of talking about some conflicts at all. As far as the Dow futures are concerned, the weekly time frame, if you notice, it's bullish. It's starting to become bullish. It still needs some more upward movement. As far as the daily is concerned, if you look here on the Dow futures, it needs to get above this level here of 10696. If it does, the daily is going to now start trending very, very nicely going up, and the next level is basically 11021. Okay, so the Dow futures looks very, very good as far as everything is concerned. If you look at the the Nasdaq futures, they're pretty much already broken out. They're already trending there. It probably needs a little minor pullback before it continues to go up. So be careful on the Nasdaq futures as far as any short-term trades right now. The Dow futures look better for a longer-term trade. For a day trading opportunity right now. And then if you look at the ES basically, if you look at this, it still hasn't broken above its levels there, so still weak compared to the others. However, the only thing that this thing's really got going for it is actually, no, sorry, I made a mistake. The Chicago is still weak too compared to all of them. So definitely this is weak too compared to all the other pairs. So in order, if you're going to go bullish, it seems like the Dow futures are better to go bullish. Reason why is they pretty much have one little level to break before it gets to a higher level. Okay, and you could see that from the daily. It just has a small pivot. It has to break here, and then once it breaks that, it's going to go all the way up to 11.021 compared to the Nasdaq futures, which is already broken out. Last week the Nasdaq would have been ideal to go long compared to Dow, but this week it seems like the Dow probably will have a bigger pop compared to Nasdaq. Okay, if you're going to go short, I would probably stick with the S&P 500 stocks. See if you see any opportunities in there to go short. Have a good week trading, and if you have any questions, please let me know.